Right now at T-Mobile, we're getting rid of the trade-in headache. Switch with our Magenta Max plan and get the epic iPhone 12 with 5G on us, no trade-in required.
Check out this great 4K video. I even posted it with 5G way out here.
A new iPhone 12 on us, no trade-in required. T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
With 24 monthly bill credits plus tax for well-qualified buyers. Contact us before canceling to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Up to 2 per account. T-Mobile is the largest 5G network and named fastest by OpenSignal Awards and USA 5G User Experience Report July 2021. Details at T-Mobile.com.
What up? It's Dramos. You may know me from the recap on LA TV. Now I've got my own podcast, Life as a Gringo, coming to you every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be talking real and unapologetic about all things life, Latin culture, and everything in between from someone who's never quite fit in. Listen to Life as a Gringo on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Mattress Warehouse knows that buying a mattress can be tough. With so many choices, where do you start? Introducing Bed Match, a patented diagnostic system that determines your pressure points and recommends the mattresses that are best for your individual sleep needs. And it's found only at Mattress Warehouse. Come try Bed Match at a Mattress Warehouse near you. Visit sleephappens.com for locations and get free next day delivery on select purchases.
Mattress Warehouse, sleephappens.com.
It's now time for Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue, Joe Grande, and Mark and Craig Wasserman, the Pot Brothers at Law. We're the world's #1 podcast for everything cannabis.
Hello and welcome to Cannabis Talk 101, the world's #1 source for everything cannabis. My name's Blue. Alongside of me are the world famous Pot Brothers at Law, Craig and Mark Wasserman, and Mr. Joe Grande. And Joe, let us know what's going on the show.
Well, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening to us all around the world. I want to give another shout out to my Uncle Bruce. Remember you guys, I told you about my Uncle Bruce out there in Texas?
What's up, Bruce?
Yeah, so Bruce just texted me because he ironically asked me the other day, he goes, howdy, Sheila and I got a big old kick hearing us mention this morning. I don't know why I had this whole little accent that he doesn't have, but I just, I don't know why I just did that right now to be, I mean, he does have a little twang into him, so I'm gonna put a little more on you, Uncle Bruce. Howdy. Sheila and I got a big kick hearing us mention this morning. You guys are all doing so great. It seems a little unnatural to hear a conversation being broadcasted openly that have been pretty taboo for the 53 years I've been enjoying weed. If you or your coworkers could explain how the date 420 connects with pot, I'd like to know. Been hearing it for decades, but never got a definite answer. It's my birthday, so maybe it was preordained for me to be a pothead. Enjoy Arlene this weekend and say hi to all. So my mother-in-law's in town. That's Arlene.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so happy 420 birthday. So I told him, the funny thing is that 420, we explained it on our 420 show when we started off our whole Cannabis Talk 101 segments, our podcast with iHeart are on the last 420. I believe Mark mentioned it again and told the story, and he just retweeted with me again this. Really like the 420 show. It's also Adolf Hitler's birthday. So much for astrology. El Arroy restaurant in Austin had a sign out that said, it's 420. Don't forget to leave out milk and cookies for Willie Nelson. What a big old smiley face. So Uncle Bruce and Aunt Sheila, thank you guys for listening to Cannabis Talk 101 out there in Texas and doing your guys' thing. For those who want to leave us a message, 800-420-1980 is the number. Make sure you check out our Instagram pages for daily news, learn the script and so much more, and go to the website, Cannabis Talk 101, as it's revamped with so many stories. We are literally the world's #1 source for everything cannabis. You can follow the Pot Brothers at pot_brothers_at_law. Mark is at Waslaw. Craig is at Waslaw Dog. Blue is at 1 Christopher Wright. And I am at Joe Grande 52. And we just want to remind everybody about G4 Live, the Bud Tenders Awards. It's going down, you guys, September 29th to October 2nd, Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay. Make sure you guys go out there for that. And Blue, what time is it?
Dime time.
And, of course, Budman Stew.
Viscous Vapes.
Cali Effects. Feel the effects.
Let's go. And you know what, guys? It's time to find out who's making waves, guys. Former anti-cannabis congressman and top Trump health official
got a flip-flopper?
joins cannabis board
I like the flip-floppers. I love them.
And it's documented, guys. A former head of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, is serving as a member of a board of directors for medical marijuana business in Georgia, according to documents obtained by marijuanamoment.com. Tom Price, who has served as HHS security under President Donald Trump for 7 months before resigning following criticism over hundreds and thousands of dollars in travel expenses. The guy was just floating around the country.
Oh, I remember him. I remember this
is
story.
listed as a board member of Botanical Science, LLC, one of 6 cannabis businesses to win the licenses last month under Georgia's limited medical cannabis program.
Georgia.
Now,
yeah, that was all bullshit too. It's all big business. He shouldn't be able to be in it either.
Well, that's
only big business got involved. They're freezing everybody out. It's another example of fucked up state laws.
Well, he's former congressman who is repeatedly voted against marijuana reform.
Right.
But now he's getting paid.
Involvement now in the industry, notable and isn't. This is what we discussed, and it bothers me because. This is one of those guys that's like, I'm against it. Now all of a sudden there's money being involved and he's all the way with it.
Isn't that life?
Yeah, no, and I mean, no, listen, it is. But I mean, is he really about this industry? Is he really about the product, or is it just a smash and grab?
Smash and grab.
I think guys like this, and let's just face it, even people that are at the bigger level that aren't even in the game yet, but they're going to say, oh, of course we are. Like companies like Marlboro, like the Budweiser. I mean, dude, these big companies are getting involved so heavily, and they probably weren't involved with it. Maybe, you ready for this? Coca-Cola. Why? Because that Aaron from Coca-Cola, that kid, he got a lot of plants. He was in the game. He'd been trying to do some things. He got arrested. Coca-Cola, their family had some hands in some cannabis, and they've been busted for it from family style. So when you just look at these big companies and corporations, which is getting into the game, just like this former lawmaker.
Sure.
And my point behind this is, you're a former lawmaker, you're Coca-Cola, you're Pepsi, you're fucking Budweiser, you're Amazon, you're whoever. Like, it's part of what's going to happen. They're going to jump in it.
And not only that, but
the big money's coming. You've been calling it.
But here's the thing: the guys from Coca-Cola, I'd have my sneaky suspicion that they've always been in it.
That's what I'm saying. The son, I feel like that.
Yeah.
That son was on a private jet, had like 600 plants on that thing.
Yeah.
You don't get 600 plants.
You don't just
that's
show
a player.
up with him like, yeah,
he's a young player,
and he felt comfortable probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
like
just
this
have a
dude
feeling
didn't
about
know.
him. That's why I gave Coke some dab going, except Coca-Cola, they probably had some family heritage doing some cannabis stuff without being in the game, but they're in the game, like some side hustle.
Right.
When he shouldn't even need to do it, but he's just doing it just off GP, like I'm getting
that's
the
what I'm
game.
saying. He didn't even need to. He didn't even, hey, let them in. Yeah, tell them to come on in. So, the thought process behind that, though, is that straight up, there is not one person out there that is in the market that isn't legal, meaning that there's people that are voting against cannabis, and then now these people, again, they shouldn't have that opportunity to be live in this industry. I think, like you said, Craig, I think it should be a 10-year hold on those people before they can put their name on a board of advisors.
It does make it weird when you know that they're the inside plug. Like, you're the inside plug to make the rules and regulations, and now I get involved.
To make it illegal, and now all of a sudden it's legal.
And legal in areas where I know I can capitalize on and be in the game. Like, okay, if I go over there and do that, I'm going to make the money from over there, so therefore I'm going to be a part of a company that's in Illinois.
It's almost criminal. It's criminal, dog. How are you going to sit here and be the guy that votes against cannabis? And
in Oregon, we're going to open mushrooms, and now I'm going to be a part of a mushroom company.
But for the last 10 years, I've been going against it. And now I'm
part of a company.
Yeah.
It is so shady.
And there's only 4 people that won, and he's one of the winners.
You ready for the bullshit remark, Craig, that you're going to love and hate at the same time? Isn't this the fucking American way? How stupid does that sound? But as you smile, Craig, is this not what we put together, when I say we, our forefathers, as the American way?
Well...
It might be your forefathers.
But is it not, though? Come on. You know what I mean? People find out homes are going to go this way, loans are going to go that way. This is what they're doing in New York on Wall Street. This is the way the game's been going forever.
Or Joe, I don't know, Joe, if that's what our forefathers had in mind.
You don't think that when they said, I'm going to sell cotton over there, they're buying a cotton field and acres and this and that back in the day? I'm saying from jump, they've been doing this type of shit. Okay, we're about to free the slave. I'm about to do that. Like everything that our countries have been a part of, those who are in the know and have the funding to do so have been capitalizing on it. It's just part of this way of government and life that we call America. And I love it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not bashing.
I love where we're from, but at the same time,
It just
I think there should be some kind of rules against the shit because if
change what them white boys been doing forever.
Good luck. You know what the Blue? This is the rules. This is the simple. The only way it's going to change if every single person listening calls their representative, and if they don't like what the representative voted for, then vote them out.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, I mean...
the only way it's going to change is voting out the old and bringing in the new.
But don't you think that the folks that are creating these laws and they're telling everybody, listen, you can't... Cannabis is illegal in our town. It's illegal in our town. Then all of a sudden, a month later, it flips, and this fucker owns one of the four that made it? That's shit. That's like...
It's shitty, it's horrible, but my point is to you, Blue, I hate to say it, but it's just so real, like, that's what we live in.
No, I get it.
Right?
No, listen, and I play ball too with it. I'm just sharing with you that it's like,
you've got some inside information on what's going on here in Stanton. You're trying to find properties before everybody else.
But I wasn't voting against cannabis the whole fucking time.
I agree.
I've been with the business the whole time.
And I agree with you, but there's those shady motherfuckers out there
that end up winning, and that's the shit box. That's what I'm saying. That guy needs to
and when you see that guy,
put a microscope up his ass and find out what's really popping, because how is he going to be voting against the whole shit?
What's his name again, Making Waves? That guy, Ted, Tom, what's his name?
His name was Tom Price, and it just sounds like...
the price is right for Tom, boy.
It just sounds like it's a motherfucking bust. It's Cannabis Talk 101. That's who's making waves. We'll be right back after this break.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
Hey, it's Wilmer Valderrama from Essential Voices with Wilmer Valderrama podcast. Lo siguiente es un mensaje de State Farm. Some stories deserve to be told. Incredible, but totally true stories. Stories that we knew nothing about, but that now we want to know everything about. Stories that were invisible, but have found a way to travel from ear to ear. Stories that captivate us, move us, and even teach us. Stories that used to be secret, but that are now a podcast. State Farm celebrates the fact that those stories can now be enjoyed by all. And that's why we want to share a bit of information that we can all enjoy as well. State Farm has surprisingly great rates on car insurance. Yes, for real. If you need to insure your car, don't hesitate to talk to a State Farm agent and take a look at the solutions that match your needs. It's easy. For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí.
Why is it the best wireless deals require a trade-in? Right now at T-Mobile, we're getting rid of the trade-in headache. Switch and get the epic iPhone 12 with 5G on us. Get it on Magenta Max with unlimited premium data. No trade-in required.
Check out this great 4K video I took of us. I even posted it with 5G way out here.
That's right, a new iPhone 12 on us. No worrying about having a phone that qualifies. You can keep your current phone or pass it down. Seriously, no trade-in required.
Look at this cool photo of my victory dance.
Wow, I didn't know you were that flexible.
It's that easy. Unlimited premium data, iPhone 12 on us, and no trade-in required. You won't get that from anyone else. T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
At Activate up to 4K or video streams at 480p. Phone via 24 credits plus tax for well-qualified buyers. Contact us before canceling to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Up to 2 per account. T-Mobile is the largest 5G network and named fastest by Open Signal Awards and USA 5G User Experience Report July 2021. Details at T-Mobile.com.
Welcome back to Cannabis Talk 101, all the way live from Orange County, California to the rest of the world. And if you're listening to me right now,
the price is right for Blue.
The price
He's
is right.
Tim Price's fucking crew.
This dude, man. Craig Wasserman, tell us what's going down in cannabis news, man.
Well, this is pretty crazy. You know, New Jersey went adult use and medical not that long ago, and their legislature is bringing back, or the state is, the old marijuana stigma. They are trying, what they're trying to do is indicate that cannabis is what's in the licensed regulated market, but marijuana is that old reefer madness.
How are they two different things when they're the same thing?
Well, no, they agree that under the law, the words, it's regulated, you know, whether it's marijuana or cannabis, if you're in the regulated system, it could be called either. But what they're trying to do is call the unregulated market marijuana. And they're using the same lazy stoner, Harry Anslinger, racist shit is still being perpetuated because we still have here. Listen to this stat, Joe. You talked about this on a show. I think it was one of the last shows. In 2018, black people in New Jersey were 3.5 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana than white people. The statewide racial disparity increased between 2010 and 2018. In some jurisdictions, some of the local jurisdictions, the disparity is absolutely shocking. In New Jersey's Hunterdon County, near the Pennsylvania border, black people were 14 times more likely to be cuffed for cannabis than a white guy.
Doesn't shock me.
Nah, it's not. Yeah, that's pretty normal, bro. Like,
I mean, it's just crazy that this is still going on, and they're still revisiting the old racist shit that came from the word marijuana. So they're trying to actually.
And marijuana didn't come from the brothers; it came from the Mexicans. Which is funny.
So here's the thought, yeah, because a lot of people, and I look at this, and you know, I've heard this argument with a lot of people in the cannabis industry, and I tend to use the word cannabis as well, but marijuana is from Mexico. It's from Latin America. It's been brought to the States. Then it was, and while it was, you know, smuggled into the United States, and created a full-on ecosystem for people all across the country, you know, a lot of people look at that word as a bad word. I don't necessarily think it's a bad word because it's a Hispanic.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Yeah. But a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, marijuana, you can't use that word. You got to use cannabis. We've had that argument, you know, and I don't believe that. You know, when you start saying weed, yeah, it kind of dumbs down the word. You know, if you start saying dope, you know, you're not talking about cannabis, in my opinion. You know, so there's a lot of other slangs that are used out there.
But it is dope.
But it's dope.
Dope weed.
It's dope weed. But you understand what I'm saying.
None of it should matter. No matter what you call the plant. Because, you know, my brother gets on that a lot of times. Oh, use the word cannabis. Use the word cannabis. We try to use the word cannabis just because it's the new thing. And it sounds a lot better than the old thing. That's what we know. And, you know, I'm kind of going backwards on that a little bit, going, we should destigmatize each one of those words.
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter if you call it weed. It doesn't matter if you call it dope.
Reefer, a reefer, whatever you're going to smoke.
It's funny when you say that, Craig, because let's talk about that a little more. Like, because you and your brother, mostly your brother, has stood on this, you know, soapbox and platform for a minute, you know, making this whole, which I do believe is appropriate, saying, you know, let's call it cannabis.
It's unfortunate that we have to think that way. That's my
exactly. That's the key right there, Craig. It's unfortunate, and I think it's a stimulation that people go, oh, but yeah, and the marijuana that comes from the Latin culture, Mexico, they've been bringing in marijuana forever. And as a kid, I remember hearing, the marijuana, the mota, mijo, put that mota away, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you heard it as a negative stigma, but that's why it feels that way still, right? Because our parents and things like that.
But then as you hear marijuana reform, it makes you smile. It's like, that's a good thing. What is it? Marijuana reform. ooh, it sounds better. It's nice. We're reforming this.
It's like saying again, the pot brothers at law. You
Pot,
guys are the
you use
pot
the pot.
brothers, and you
because
use
you
the word
smoke pot.
You know,
you don't say the cannabis brothers at law.
Yeah. And
so it goes against
that was taken.
It almost
Probably a good
contradicts
idea.
everything.
Funny is, Joe.
It almost contradicts
Funny
everything.
is,
Good
though,
idea.
a lot of people when little brother says cannabis, can't call it cannabis, we're hardly
you right out.
ever called out on
pot brothers at
well,
law.
what's up with pot brothers at law then?
Dude, you know what's funny, Craig, is that we just brought this up for the first time after 4 years of hanging out like this. And
I wasn't going to say anything.
Why would you?
No, I've been online and heard people call him out on it, but you know it's funny because
nobody,
he
ever.
was. No, bullshit.
Right,
bullshit.
I got something online
We've been
right
on
now.
Clubhouse. I've been on Clubhouse.
Every time I've
Mark
been on
gets
Clubhouse.
called out, and they've been like, "Yo, what's up with the pot brothers at law?" And then he'd be like, "Yo, we had that before." You know what I mean? He's trying to dance around it, and I'm like,
But
"Look,
that's why
dude,
I think
you
there's
gotta
no
destig-
before.
If you're gonna
I think we should-
destigmatize it, you got to destigmatize all of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
look at the logo
Period.
right behind you. The Pot Brothers at Law.
Yeah,
Jeez, come
shit,
on.
we got to change your name. Get the fuck out of here. No one's changing their name.
You
for
guys are
shit.
crying wolf, and you guys are keeping the fucking name that's against it. I didn't even realize this.
Hey, we're keeping
what did
that
I
shit.
say? I don't do that. I use the other
Follow
term.
them now online at the cannabis _brothers_
at _law. Yeah, man.
The
You know what's
double
funny?
cannabis.
I think you know who has I think the Cannabis Brothers
Is Biasso.
the Piasso brothers.
Biasso, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The big dudes. Yeah, the big homies.
Yeah, yeah.
They were at the mansion, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we got to
Love
get
those
them. We
dudes.
got to get them in. Talk about their story. I know they're doing some big things. There's some probably one of the best growers out there in the country, I would think.
Yeah, they got some really smoke. They got,
But
that
they don't
smoke.
have the cannabis brothers at law. They're just the cannabis brothers.
Correct.
Yeah,
And they're not lawyers. They just may play one.
Shout out to
on novellas.
Culado.
Culado is his name?
No.
The brand that he has?
No, that's what's his name's brand from the Loonies. We were just with
Culado.
them. Who were we just with?
The Loonies and Yuckmouth.
I was waiting for you.
Thank you, Daniel. That was fun.
Shout out to
interview with
Yuckmouth, man, for having us on his show. When we were at Champs a couple weeks ago, Yuckmouth brought us up on his show. It was nice to see them out there, and Culado and Gasco for producing that fire ass weed they gave us, because they did shoot us some bomb ass weed.
What else you got over there, Craig? Anything else?
Do you want to hear some? Like, I mean, really, this is in that same article about trying to use the word marijuana, bring back the bad stigma to differentiate it from the legal market is what they're trying to do, which is absolutely ludicrous. But they start talking about the history, right? And we know we've talked about Harry Anslinger. This is when Harry Anslinger testified before Congress, 1937. Marijuana is the most violence-causing drug in the history of mankind.
My God.
Most marijuana, this is a quote from the books. Most marijuana smokers are Negroes, Hispanics, Filipinos, and entertainers. Their satanic music, jazz, and swing result from marijuana usage. End quote. Here's another quote from Anslinger back then. And they're trying to bring up the same rhetoric, even though it might be for a good cause.
Just the dialogue,
There's
too,
no
that folks
good
used to
cause
talk
that
like
when you
back in
start
the day.
talking like that.
Them
there's no
Negroes and Mexicans, Filipinos, goddamn them. Like, come on.
I mean, listen to this. I'm not sure I ever read this fact
I'm
before.
surprised you read it. Fuck.
Okay,
You
sound like you
might get taken out of context
10
right
years
here.
ago
Fucking-
when
listen.
after you were born, huh?
Shit.
37?
Back before we were all born, and back
Maybe not
before it was prohibited to be before
They had the hair
cannabis
dye before they had the hair dye.
prohibition. This goes on to tell us that when white men were prescribed marijuana, they called it medicine and listed it in the United States Pharmacopoeia. They labeled it as cannabis. This is back then. But when black people used it, they called it marijuana. Same
Marijuana.
Dog,
substance.
this is still what goes on in
Same
this country now,
substance,
Craig.
But a single word meant the difference between freedom and incarceration.
Craig, when a white man shoots up a fucking country party and kills the most people ever, he's had a bad day and he has mental problems. When a minority does it, they're a fucking terrorist. If the same shit still goes on
Yeah,
in different
man.
circumstances.
It really does.
I mean, look what I'm talking about. This is what we mean by, oh, there's no prejudice. This is what we do in America. We stick up for the white folks on the daily. lately. They always make up shit like you just said since 1937.
True,
prior to
man.
that, white
so
folks
true.
get the pass for everything.
It's fucked. Yeah, man.
You just said it. What they said. White boy smokes a joint. That's medicine. Black guy, Pitt smoking a joint with Joe and Blue and fucking drug addicts.
Yeah.
Look at them.
No,
you know what I
man.
mean? Craig and fucking Mark are smoking a joint. Hell's that medicine, boys?
The same asshole walks by me looking at me after I smell like weed. He looks at me like you're a fucking piece of shit.
Loser.
But then goes in the back and smokes a fucking joint, does 2 bumps, and drinks a fucking handle.
It's just crazy, Craig. As you say a story like this, and when you really look at life, nothing's changed. Is my point behind your story.
And
I know it's by yours too.
If we go circle to I think maybe it was a story of a show or so ago, we go full circle to, unfortunately, the politicians aren't changing the laws because of these reasons.
And that reason is those people are old white men. That's why.
Correct. Yeah. That's why they have to go.
Exactly.
That's why I say
the
this
old
every
white
single
man,
time we have a
from
story.
our old white man to all those other old white men. So this is our old white man speaking.
Get the fuck out.
Tell him, Craig.
Get the fuck out.
Stand the fuck down and let other people take over who are more in tune with the times.
And
I love when you do that,
but
Craig.
this doesn't mean that we don't like white people.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
Like,
get
you
me
know what I'm
twisted
saying? Like
either.
that-
I'm married to a white woman,
yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Don't you know? I mean, she's a strong German woman that'll whoop my ass.
Yeah, but it's the old mentality that's kept a lot of
It's the person that acts
people
like
in
this
social
still in the
injustice.
1937 and still keeps that hand
And they
down.
re-bring that up. Why would you even bring that?
It's such a great
1937.
And that's when that was. I mean, to
not
read,
you, Craig.
to
I
hear
mean,
what you
I'm
read,
not
Craig,
saying why would
because
you. I'm saying why would the state try to bring that shit up?
That's the whole point of this story, is that New Jersey, while it wasn't ill-intended, it wasn't meant to have the same meaning that it had back in the 30s, but that's what it is. So it's like, what are you doing? They didn't do it on purpose, I think. They thought they had a great idea. Marijuana is the illegal market and cannabis is the new market. You're still demonizing the same word.
It's funny
and
that
it's
you
still
stories
harkening
like
back
this,
to
Craig,
all that shit.
gets me
That's
so
why all
fired
this
up.
was brought up in this article, that, hey, they're still demonizing part of the word that has a stigma that's just horrible, and it never needs to be revisited again.
And it's not only with cannabis; it's with life in general. It's with car
Yeah, it's
acts.
way worse than just cannabis.
It just goes across the board of so many things, you guys. You can go in there and from armed
Dog,
robbery.
when I had my head
a
shaved,
gun.
when I had my head shaved, like I'll be driving down the street. I have a cop pull up next to me, look at me, hit the brakes, get behind me, and light my shit up.
And let there be a white guy
You know what I'm
bald,
saying?
same thing. Let there be a white guy with a gun
And I'm like, yo,
walking down the street. He's okay to carry.
Yeah.
It's your right to bear
Blue,
arms.
Or Joe, not necessarily. See a white bald guy with tattoos and blue bald with tattoos. I think I'd walk the other way from both of them.
Yeah,
well,
but
that would be no, you wouldn't, Craig. You're the fucking craziest motherfucker of all. So it doesn't not for you.
You'll go sit on his lap and ask him
exactly.
what
I'm
his day
saying the
was like.
stereotypes
What's up, my
that are really getting treated out there because we've just seen firsthand the white guy carrying the gun and the cops fucking giving him a bottle of water.
That's
as he
gotta
walks
be the
by.
worst.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Then we see
yeah.
a black guy with a gun, with a fake gun at that, and he gets shot and killed. It's Cannabis Talk 101.
That
This
has
story's
to be
getting
the
too
worst.
fucking
That
fired
has to
up.
be the worst ever, Joe.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I got a good story when we come back that's gonna go green. That's gonna make you want some pizza. So put a smile on your face. We'll be right back after this. Fucking Craig.
After all that planning, it's happening. Your DIY closet renovation is finally becoming a reality. Question is, where do you put your things while you work? CubeSmart has you covered with month-to-month leases and self-storage solutions that make it easier to get organized. Online or in person, getting self-storage is convenient and fast. And because DIY renovations can easily go over budget, it's great that CubeSmart is offering up to 25% off your monthly rent. Say goodbye to before and hello to after with CubeSmart Self-Storage. Visit CubeSmart.com for more details.
At Metro by T-Mobile, we don't think you should pay extra for unlimited 5G. Introducing the big 5G upgrade. Experience 5G speed at no extra cost. Ditch your overpriced connection with Boost and Cricket and save half off their top plans when you switch to Metro, the leader in prepaid. Get one line of unlimited smartphone data for just $25 a month with 5G access included at no extra cost. Plus, get a free Samsung Galaxy 5G with trade-in. All with the power of the T-Mobile 5G network. Rule your day with unlimited high-speed data and a free 5G phone. Only at Metro. Limited time in-store only. If congested data users greater than 35 gigabytes per month notice lower speeds and Metro customers notice lower speeds versus T-Mobile due to deprioritization. Leader based on prepaid subs June 2021. Save half based on one-line Boost and Cricket Unlimited plans. See store for details.
Millions of Americans are getting back to work. CareerBuilder calls it the great rehire. And we want to help you get the best jobs before everyone else. CareerBuilder gives you the competitive edge to get the job you want, at the salary you want, with the benefits you want. We even send job alerts, so your perfect job lands right in your inbox. Go to CareerBuilder.com today, or get left with whatever jobs are left. Find your next job fast at CareerBuilder.com.
Take a hit, get lit, sit back and enjoy Cannabis Talk 101 right here with Blue, Joe Grande, and the Pot Brothers at Law. Joe Grande, what's going green, man?
Oh, you guys, this is gonna make me smile. I gotta
take a deep breath after that one.
I gotta breathe real quick because as we were off air for a second, Craig, I was just pointing out to you, thank you for giving us that great story and a lot of good information and the history behind that and grabbing a lot of good details. But it really does fire me up. And as we talk even off air and on, just whatever, we point out all these things, how it's real, you guys. People out there thinking,
like a $2 bill.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that bad. No, folks, it's real. The racism and everything is so real. It just gets me all sparked up and fired up for everybody. So anyhow, I got a good Go Green one for you guys right now. The daughters, which makes me smile, of hip-hop legends Notorious B.I.G. and Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
They're opening up a pizza joint and cannabis lounge in good old Hollywood.
No.
Right here in good old Hollywood, California. Hollywood has a new eatery that might make your head spin in the best possible way. Juicy Pizza.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Juicy Pizza recently opened by Tijuana Wallace, which is
Juicy.
Notorious.
Exactly. Which is his number one hit.
Yeah. So Juicy, Tijuana's Notorious B.I.G.'s daughter, Wallace. Of course, Christopher Wallace was his name. And Tyra Myricks, daughters of the hip-hop legends Notorious B.I.G. and Jam Master Jay, respectively behind the New York-themed pizza parlor, a dedicated more than L.A. lounge space called the Presidential Suite. Now, it's owned and operated by Presidential Cannabis, one of the largest infused flower companies in California. And for those new to the Presidential, you can find their infused joints and blunts at Medman, Empire, Stizzy, MMD, Culture Cannabis. The list goes on and on. Their label says world's strongest, and with THC levels as high as 54%. And they're not kidding, folks. So if you don't know what Presidential is and you're not coming out to California to grabbing it, then that's exactly what it is. So you know it's a big player, strong brand. As a quote says, we source really high quality flower and distill it with distillate from companies like Moxie, says Everett Smith, the co-founder of Presidential. We have a proprietary infused process, and then we coat it with keef. We've got the best value product on the market. You can get 4 or 5 experiences out of one pre-roll. So they're saying basically you can get high as can be. To be clear, no cannabis will be sold at the lounge off of La Brea in Hollywood. Absolutely not, says Smith. You cannot buy cannabis there. It's not a consumption lounge. It's a private event space. Cannabis space, that is. Music and entertainment companies can hold parties there, charity events, some give backs to the community, and it's a place where celebrities can come and hang out. Think of it as a Soho house for the cannabis crowd. Throw a cool merch shop inside of it and hot slices with topping like Philly cheesesteak, lobster, and beef, and broccoli, and we can put this whole East Coast, West Coast hip-hop rivalry to bed right about now. So I really love this whole factor because just to give you guys some insight, for those who are listening and may not know the story, I did the last interview with Notorious B.I.G. before he died.
I do know that story.
Love that. And the Jam Master Jay story, I'm one of, I think it's 300 Adidas made the Jam Master Jay shoes. And I have a pair of those shoes as well.
I've seen them.
Yeah, you've seen them at the house. So, and my Run DMC goes deep to where, kicked it with Run DMC for years, and I bought the tapes at the Berryessa flea market. I mean, then when I finally seen them, like we were hanging out, and I used to do a lot of drugs and this and that, and I was way over the line with them, and they still loved me after I was over the line. I mean, they were in a prayer in the back of a concert one day, and I fucking go up there, them just rapping songs like a big fat idiot. And I was that guy because I was backstage. I was the morning show guy. So, hey guys, and I realized it afterwards. Then I had to make amends and apologize and all this other stuff. And they were very nice to me when I did. To the fact of once I was fighting in the ring, and then I remember Run was there on a Friday. I had a fight that Saturday. Run called me on a Monday to check to see if I won the fight. So like my Run DMC roots are deep. So when I see their kids doing stuff like this, it makes me happy for the family members of people that I look at in the hip-hop world as iconic, and not only iconic, but good people from my first-hand experiences. I'm not just saying, they're good people because I love their music.
Sure.
They're good people because I've given you guys stories
They're
of me
your
hanging
folks.
out with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love this. I think this is great. If you're going to support something like this, folks, and you're going to be in the Hollywood area, please go out there and do something like this, because Presidential is a big brand as well that's backing this. And putting their money up and saying, you know what, this is a great. So Tiana and Tyra, go do your thing out there. Juicy Pizza in Hollywood.
You know what makes me trip out is, whenever you talk about, Notorious B.I.G., I always think of, when we interviewed his son, and you pulled that picture out, and literally his son's like, bro, I still have that T-shirt of my pops. Like that was,
and his look, right? His whole vibe, you felt it.
Because it was you and Notorious B.I.G. and we were with his son and we're talking. I just got the chills again.
Yeah,
but when we were sitting there, I was like, damn, bro. Like you're like, I gotta show him this picture. You know what I mean? And you pull it out.
Well, I remember mentioning before I knew
you brought him a picture.
I brought it for
him.
Right? Yeah. And it was just funny how we thought about it. I go, I'm going to go print this out for him. I don't know if he has a picture. I don't know if he wants a picture of me, but I'm like, fuck it. It's a picture of his dad. He doesn't want it. He could throw it away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got him a good 5x7 of it. And I'm like, let me share it with him. So during the interview, when we pulled it out, it was very, he was like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
Whoa, how do you have that? And then it doesn't even look like me anymore.
Because you're 500 pounds.
Yeah, and I had purple hair, a pierced nose ring, and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's funny when you think of that. And
no, it was a good moment.
And now his sister's doing big things.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they were in L.A. by the way.
So. Oh, you didn't know that pizza?
No, the kids. I didn't know the kids are obviously in L.A.
I think the son's still in New York. I see him online all the time doing shakes and juices, and he's eating healthy and doing great things. I love following him.
Right.
But I didn't know his daughter was doing this. So I seen these girls doing this stuff. I'm like, the daughters of hip hop legends, Notorious B.I.G. and Jam Master Jay. Woo! Jam Master Jay. Jam Master J.
Here we go.
So that's who's going green. If you're going to go spend some time and go to a good hip-hop spot, Juicy Pizza is the one. And remember this, folks.
If no one else loves you, we do.
Thank you for listening to Cannabis Talk 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Did you know that we made the free iHeartRadio app so you can listen to hundreds of thousands of podcasts anytime you want, anywhere you want, totally free? Love music? Us too. We use music for everything we do in our lives, and the free iHeartRadio app has playlists with music perfect for every mood and every moment in your day. So we thought we'd share those with you too. Add to that being able to stream your favorite radio stations from anywhere. It's all free on iHeartRadio. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one app.
Here's today's STEM tip. Don't throw out that old plastic bottle. Repurpose it by turning it into an awesome terrarium. Just fill it with sand, pebbles, soil, and your favorite plant. It'll grow sealed right in its own ecosystem. Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.